Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pop Call Podcast. My name is Alice, and I have a very special guest today, Dusty Gannon. Yay! Welcome, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, I actually have to admit, I discovered you from your goth dad bits on TikTok. So,
It's a very common thing, Uh, I think a lot of people. It's funny how many people at shows that I'm playing in are like, "Oh, that's that goth dad guy," and I'm like,
yeah.
it's always kind of funny to me when the like the wires of music and like social media stuff that I do like kind of cross at some point, and people go, "Oh, that's that guy."
I have to admit, when I met you, we came to Columbus a couple years ago. I said, "Hi, Goth Dad," because I forgot your name.
that, that is also a very common occurrence. So don't sweat
But I wanted to dive into maybe a little bit of history of you as a musician and a person as much as you're willing to talk about because I don't want to get too personal, obviously. So
it.
I'll start with what are your musical beginnings? Like what made you into who you are today?
Yeah, music for me was always something that was kind of like part of my life from a very young age
Mhm.
because my parents and my dad was in the army, and I think it's a very common thing in military families that you go on a lot of road trips. So you're either moving or you're on a road trip, or like but we went on a ton of road trips, and we were always moving and always going somewhere in a car, and there was always, like, literally always music playing. And we lived in, like when we first moved from Germany to California, we lived in like this area around like Monterey, which is like really nice. And
Mhm.
it's like, especially for like a kind of very working class army family, like living amongst this beautiful area that's like full of crazy rich people. It was just always like some of my earliest memories are like being in the car and listening to like Depeche Mode or the B-52s, or like my if my dad was listening to it, it was like Genesis or Pete
Mhm.
Gabriel or like just weird proggy rock stuff. But anyway, it was always a fixture of our experience as a family. And my parents kind of pushed me a little bit to be musically inclined, or at least try it.
Mhm.
Like when I was really young, I took exactly one guitar lesson. I've only ever had actual lesson, and I kind of hated it because I just like, I'm a very like non-structured learner. I have to
Yeah.
go see somebody do something and
Mhm.
then replicate it and like do it myself and put my hands on something to make it like stick in my brain. So I just kind of learned guitar. But I did kind of pick up guitar over the years of like high school and middle school, high school, just kind of learning little bits and pieces on my own, just like screwing around and figuring it out.
Yeah.
Um, but I think like my music taste now, at the ripe age of 39, going on 40 this year, I I really I started to like foment that foundation of what I listen to even to this day back in high school.
Mhm.
Finding bands like Joy Division, Susie and
Oh,
the Banshees, Bauhaus, like all the kind of classic
yeah.
goth, heavy hitter, like legendary goth and post punk bands. But I also like around that time that I was finding those bands, I had a really huge sort of like rivet head phase where I was really into like very early and like second wave industrial stuff. So stuff from like uh, Cabaret Voltaire, Throbbing Gristle, Clock DVA,
Yes.
really weird Coil, like
Skinny
just
puppy.
definitely.
I have a poster signed by Ogre, Kevin, and Bill Leave up there.
Yeah. I met him at Spooky Empire in October, and it was so
Yeah.
crazy because I'm like such a huge fan of Skinny Puppy, and particularly Ogre, and just like everything that he stands for, and uses his music to
Yeah.
advocate for things that he believes in. And so a friend of ours, kind of a friend of mine named Mark, and and his partner and his daughter, they kind of they're like Florida fans that have become friends.
Mm-hmm.
They were hanging out at the hotel with us the night before the convention started, and he's like really good friends with Ogre. Just again, he's such a
Yeah.
wonderful guy that he just kind of makes friends with people. And anyway, we're sitting at the bar, and they're like feeding me old fashions, and I'm like, all right, I gotta like calm down. But out of nowhere, like Ogre just shows up, and he sits down, and we're all just like talking, and I'm just intoxicated enough to like be calm and cool. And I was like, holy shit, is this really happening?
Yeah.
It was a cool moment though, and he was so sweet, and he was so genuine, and just like he actually really. I feel like a guy on that stature, any musician that's on that level, to me, like I've met a few people on that level, and it's
Yeah.
like really hit or miss.
It is.
And they tend to like they're either it's like a large disparity in the quality of human being. They're either amazing or they're
Yeah.
like horrible.
Yeah.
And he was just so like genuinely interested what other people had to say. It wasn't just like, hey, let's listen to Ogre, because we could just listen to that dude talk all night, but he was like asking questions of, oh,
Yeah.
what do you do, what is the, and it was genuine, and I just thought that was super super cool. But anyway, but yeah, back to kind of
It's okay.
the yeah, like I was listening to a lot of these just very weird, and at that time, like especially around the age of 15, 16, like the more aggressively strange and dissonant it was, the more I
Yeah.
was kind of into it.
I agree.
I grew up in like Oglethorpe County, Georgia, which is like bumfuck nowhere.
I
Very
I went to high school in Zanesville, Ohio. That's bumfuck country in Ohio.
exactly like similar to my experience. The town I grew up in was called Maxie's. It's just like this tiny
Yeah.
little town. It's like 200 people, and it's like nothing town,
Yeah.
USA. But I mean, I kind of enjoyed like growing up around there, because it's like you kind of make friends with all these like miscreant, misfit,
Hmm.
redneck kind of dudes that are, they're like good people. They're just like,
Yeah.
you just sort of like look around and go, well, you're the only person here, so we're gonna be friends. And but I was a weird kid. Like I grew up in, all over, like from Germany to California and Virginia and all these different places, moving around, and just having to constantly make friends with people that you don't really know that well. You got to like learn the differences of people. So that kind of made me weird. And, I found myself, my dad had retired, and I found myself sort of stuck in this like middle of nowhere Georgia town where people are very, very, very conservative. And like, it wasn't a place for me ultimately.
Hmm.
So I really latched on to anything I could find that made me stand out even more than this like weird society that I found myself in. And yeah, I still listen to a lot of that music today. Like it's my tastes have broadened dramatically. Back then,
Yeah.
that's all I listened to was like goth, punk, post punk, and
Yeah.
industrial, and that's it. But now, I listen to a lot of different things all the time. I really like Motown, 70s, 60s,
Oh
70s
yeah.
soul is some of my favorite music, because the vocalists are just incredible. I mean, the musicians are talented, but the vocals and the
Yeah.
singing is just so wildly good. And I listen to a little bit of classical here and there to kind of get my mind jogging. And I listen to a lot of like early 90s, late 80s, early 90s hip hop,
Hmm.
rap. I just love that stuff. The production is so cool. But yeah, I just have always I'm drawn to anything musically that feels genuine and has something to say, or at least makes you feel something really
Yeah.
intensely. And that's, I think that can be so many different kinds of music.
I agree. I love music that makes me like feel something, whether it's like uncomfortable because of whatever they're talking about, which is a good thing in a lot of, for me, it's good.
Yeah.
Or like just super pumped up because it's like a really fast beat or something, or it's just
Yeah,
like some sort of vibe. If I feel something, I'm like, that's good music in my opinion.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, we were talking about Ogre. I'm gonna tell my little quick anecdote about Ogre because I've met him twice now.
yeah.
The first time I met him was on the Skinny Puppy final tour, and I walk up and all saying hi, and he's like looking at me. He's like, "Are you Alice?" And I'm like, "How do you know who I am?" Number one, and yes. And then I met him at a convention last August again, and he remembered me, which was crazy because you meet so many people, and he's always so friendly. And he's like, "Oh, come back to my table and just hang out and talk to me anytime you want to," because we were there for like the day or something, and we were staying the night. So I ended up going back and talking to him a little bit later on in the day when he wasn't signing so much. But it's my little anecdote about Ogre, because yes, I do
Cool.
agree he is a great person,
Mhm.
and yeah, just he's fun to be around and talk to because you could talk to him about whatever and he will entertain you.
I can definitely tell that. We talked for probably, I think it was like 2 hours that we just
Oh,
sat there, just
that's
talking
crazy.
about music and life and politics, and just
Hmm.
it was super super cool. It was a very like, if 16-year-old me knew that that was going to happen,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have believed it.
I totally agree. Like, cause I've met a lot of the greats from industrial music, cause I go to a lot of those shows, and I just like supporting them because they're not like well known, if you will.
Yeah,
So I know they have a lot of support, but seeing them and meeting them, like I've met the guys from Thrill Kill Cult a couple of times, and they're always so kind and so sweet. Groovy Man is just a chill dude. I love him.
oh yeah.
But anyway, enough about me. This is about you. We get that way, just start yakking about random things.
That's why
But
I like doing these things, you know.
yeah, it's always fun because you never know what's gonna happen. And I always try to be super chill and informal about these
Yeah,
because I just want it to be fun and not like this is how it has to be.
right. Yeah, I've done some interviews that are like great people, but just very mechanical, and I'm like,
Yeah,
those aren't my favorite.
I try to make it fun for both of us, whoever I'm talking to.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. My next question, and you kind of touched on this talking about your musical beginnings, are what are some inspirations for you musically and fashion wise?
Yeah, musically, I think I like to pull not just from like the obvious sources. Like I
Right.
said, I kind of vocally, I kind of stay away from what is traditionally sort of seen in the, or heard, I guess, in the in like goth and post punk music. You get a
Mm-hmm.
lot of like very monotone, sort of like low register, very like Andrew Eldritch from Sisters of Mercy kind of
Yeah.
thing. And my register is like middle. It's just kind of stacked right in the middle of the register, or the spectrum, and I like I said, I kind of pull a lot of like styling from things like Motown, 80s,
Yeah.
70s, 60s soul stuff, because it's just so rich and beautiful. So I kind of like blend that with the more traditional stuff from, people like but I really, when I look at the milieu of like vocalists that I really love, like Robert Smith,
Hmm.
unfortunately Morrissey, because he's a douchebag, but he has a
I was
wonderful
just gonna say
uh,
we're not gonna go
like
there.
so many like wonderful vocalists that I can think of. Like oh, his name is escaping me. I know it's Stuart. Let me look it up. uh, Stuart Adamson of Big Country. I really love his. I mean, rest in peace. He was an absolutely incredible vocalist. And a lot of those guys sing way more emphatically than I think what a lot of people traditionally hear in
Yeah.
post punk and goth music. So, not that Big Country's a goth band. I don't want to piss anybody off, but very much so a great Scottish post punk band.
Yeah.
But anyway, Yeah, so I try to just take a little things that I like and sort of throw it in a blender, and but I also don't really do. I think that that happens, but I don't make most music with like extreme intention, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like I don't sit down and go, I'm going to make a song that sounds like this. I just sort of grab a guitar. It's usually I start with that bass right there, and I just start kind of plugging away, and I just start playing, and if I find a little groove or a riff or something, I'll kind of set a really basic drum machine beat behind it, and I'll just kind of build until I find like it's something cool, and if it's not, I'll just kind of scrap it and start over. So I just kind of like let my mind wander with music, and it takes a lot longer, I think, to do it that way,
Hmm.
but it's because I don't really know what I'm doing. Also, like I'm not classically trained. I don't know. Like people are like, "What key is this in?" I'm like, I have no idea, man. The right one, I guess, but it's my ongoing joke. But
Yeah.
yeah. What was the second half of that question? My mind is like,
You're good. Inspiration musically and fashion wise.
yes, okay. So
Yeah.
fashion wise, I like to, kind of harken back to like Batcave era stuff, especially with makeup. Like I look at
Hmm.
guys like Johnny Slut, Ollie Wisdom, from the Specimen, John Klein also from Specimen. They were really eccentric, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of that era really speaks to me, fashion wise and musically, but fashion wise, because I think it's so inspired by like schlocky exploitation horror movies and
Hmm.
movies like Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
I think Holly Wisdom was like a very clearly like taking nods from Frankenfurter. Like there's
Yeah.
no like they're the two they're like two in the same. But I always liked that era of things because they were so flamboyant and sort of androgynous and very like ubiquitously queer,
Hmm.
and just like gender bent, and they were using like literal trash and like
Yeah.
weird stuff that they would just find and like sew things together, and it just felt, I don't know, to me it's like that's the true spirit of like post punk, and punk is sort of anti-materialist, like
Hmm.
getting to the heart of like DIY, and I definitely should do better about that. I believe in it, and I need to practice what I preach more so,
I
insofar as
get it.
fashion. It's very hard to find clothing that fits me because my body is a very weird shape.
I get
I'm
that. I totally get that. Like
5'11".
I'm like wide shouldered and like
Yeah,
small hips. It's like
yeah.
so strange.
Yeah, I'm wide on the shoulder and I taper down a bit, and it's just
Yeah.
very like for my height, it's very very difficult to find things, because like my wife goes thrifting a lot, and I'll go
Hmm.
with her, and it's like very extraordinarily rare that I will find something that looks cool that like fits me. It's usually I'll find something and I'll be like, ah, damn it, this is like so cool, but it's like way too big or way too small. Uh,
Yeah.
but I've been working on some stuff. I'm actually, since I've with Vision Video ending or having ended, I've had a lot of time at home because I'm not really
Yeah.
touring until later in the year, with this new act, and I've been able to like sit down and be like, oh, okay, now I actually have the time to build some DIY clothing and like experiment with this a little bit more, because I feel like in the past I've just been so good, go 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 go, and I never had the
Yeah.
time to just actually do that kind of thing. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, and likewise, like horror movies, like just anything from the 70s and 80s that was just really bizarre, and kind of I love like looking at movies from that era where they're like it's like in the far future of 2010 or something, and
Yeah.
post-apocalyptic kind of craziness, and everybody's wearing like fishnets and like spikes and skulls and crazy shit like that. So I mean, like what, well, and I'll say this, like what I wear on a day-to-day basis is very tame versus what I wear going to a goth night or going to like a show that I'm playing at or something like that. It's, I when I'm going to an event, I like to be a lot more extravagant and theatrical about my appearance.
I'm the same.
But and I'm also like incredibly lazy. So when I'm
Yes,
at home or
I
going to
relate.
the grocery store, like I don't, it's just like jeans and a t-shirt basically. It's nothing
Yeah.
fancy. So
I totally relate to being lazy because there's like sometimes like, oh, well, I'm gonna dress up for this show and then I don't do it. Because I'm like, I'm just gonna go and be comfortable and not put on a full face of makeup or something.
I feel yeah. But hey, at least you're going, that's
Yes.
important. So
Yes, and I prefer to support like smaller club gigs than big arena shows with Ticket
yeah,
Bastard. I could go on a whole rant with Ticket Bastard, but
yeah, yeah.
we're not going to go
Same,
into that today.
same. Shout out to Robert Smith for being real and fighting
Yes,
the man.
yes.
That was like that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen a like huge musician do. It was like, no, you're going to refund all this money, and they were like, okay.
Yeah. I think Sleep Token did something similar where they were taking tickets from scalpers. I don't know much about them because I'm not a big fan, but I heard something through the grapevine about that, but
That's
I don't know how
cool.
true it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, the next question I have, because it'll go back to how I found you as Goth Dad.
yeah.
What made you want to start doing the Goth Dad bit on TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, it was the story goes that it was basically a kind of an accident. It was like a joke. I mean,
Yeah.
we so my original bass player Dan Geller, he's this really wonderful guy. He's one of my best friends. Uh, he's from like Wisconsin, this town called Waukesha, Wisconsin. It's like
Waukesha, I love that
yeah,
one.
yeah, it's
That's like
very
Mishawaka. That's such a funny name.
yeah, it's like one
Mishawaka.
of those like very, very ultra Midwest towns. And his parents, his dad since passed, but I had just met his parents. Like
Hmm.
they came to visit. This is like right after the lockdowns had kind of lifted, and it
Hmm.
was just like we're just kind of slowly going back out into the world. And so we had yeah, we had like a dinner together at this brewery, and I've actually at that point I had never once ever been to the Midwest. Like I'd never been there. I didn't know anybody from the Midwest, but I have a weird knack for like doing accents. It's like a
Yes,
really
me too.
but I can pick them up like that, and it's really crazy. I think it's part of like when I was a baby and a toddler, I was actually bilingual because I spoke German first, and then I spoke English
Yeah.
because we were in Germany. But anyway, so I think something about that helps. But so they came, and I thought they were just so much fun, like just listening to them banter like between the two, because Dan doesn't really have a like a crazy accent at all. He sounds like if he drinks a couple of drinks, you'll hear it a little bit, but it's like
Yeah.
very, very tame for the most part. Anyway, so they left, and I went back to writing stuff, and I very often when I make songs, I'll do these things. I just call them scratch tracks, where I just sort of like I'll write like nonsense lyrics, like stuff that's just trying to find a vocal melody, so I
Right.
can make sure that I'm not stepping on it with guitars or like keys or whatever I'm trying to build the song with. And sometimes I make like funny stuff because it's more interesting, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was working on this like very. I mean, I knew the song wasn't going to be something that I was actually serious about because it was like so like stereotypical goth, and I was like, this is kind of just not that interesting to me. But then I was like laughing about his dad, and I had this image of like I was like, well, it'd be funny if there was like a very Midwestern like 50s TV dad, but that was also like incredibly actually goth and like
Yeah.
cool as shit and like was like serious about it. And then that's like it really came from that song where it's like goth dad who's slightly embarrassing but still kind of cool. Goth dad, brag all about how he saw the cure back in the 80s. Goth dad, and I was like, oh, I think that's pretty funny. And I sent it to Dan, and he's like, dude, you have to like do a video and post this. You have to. So I posted it, and it just like exploded, and it was like kind of scary, like because I mean, it was seen like millions and millions and millions of times, and I was like,
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh, this is fun, but whatever. And brought some attention to Vision Video at the time, and I was like, that's cool, I guess. And but it was like I didn't really have any plan other than that. It was just sort of like, here's this joke, this is funny, and all these people started saying like, well, what does he do? And I was like,
What does
he
got that do?
is he a character? And I was like, oh, okay, I see. And that was like TikTok and like short form content was so new that it hadn't
Mhm.
registered in my brain that I was like, oh, I can make this like a recurring character. And when I was in high school, I acted a lot. I did like a lot of theater productions, and I did
Mhm.
drama for years, and I was in creative writing classes. So I mean, I've always liked that kind of stuff. I haven't done it in a serious way since then.
Mhm.
But I was good at it. I had a knack for that. And so I kind of was just like, well, I'll make some content around this idea, but it never like, and I haven't really like looking at it now, like I haven't really done much with it in a long time because there's only so much you can do with like sketch comedy
Yeah.
characters before you're just like
Mhm.
sort of doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. And I just never wanted it to be like beating a dead horse and just like for the clicks and the likes and all that crap. Like that stuff doesn't really translate to anything that I need or want in my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
It helps the band, yeah, but I don't want to like pander too deeply. Like I'll pander a little bit, but I'm not gonna like So anyway, like I'm glad that it existed, and and it's funny because like at some point you just sort of become the character. Like people are just like, oh, Dot Dad. Like even in
Yeah.
Athens, when I'm walking around going to a show or something, like people that don't know me will be like, hey, Goth Dad. I'm like, and I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me at all. It's actually kind of endearing in a very dorky kind of way, I guess, for me.
Yeah.
Like that's I am actually bringing it back in a less shtick comedy kind of way, and I'm doing this show on YouTube that's to be named, but basically what I'm going to do is kind of interview people that are doing interesting things in horror and goth music and just the spheres of things that I like to do in my life, and just sort of bring attention to people that I think are both interesting but also have like done something cool and are like helping build community or helping build something that is genuine. And yeah, so but it'll be a little less like, oh, hi there, baby bats, and more like, just like,
Yeah.
hey, it's Scott Dad. Yeah, okay, but like let me show you some cool things that I think are really important, and bring attention to things that I think are important. And also that show I'm going to use as a platform to bring attention to bands and music that I
Mhm.
think are doing really cool things, because uh one thing that I think we're missing in society now is like human curation is kind of getting
Yeah.
curtailed. Like algorithms and AI are just sort of like giving people information as presented fact when it's really just like aggregate opinion prepackaged under like something that it's trying to appease the most amount of people
Yeah.
with. And like you don't find weird cool things from an algorithm. You will never find weird cool things from AI because it's inherently just trying to please you. It's trying to placate you so it keeps your eyeballs on the thing. So I just want to get back to like making stuff that highlights like stuff that people are doing that I think is really
Mhm.
valuable, and may not have the same, or like may not have the ability to have like watershed like viral moments on social media, because a lot of those bands or artists that are doing really cool things like don't care about that stuff, and
Yeah.
they're not necessarily good at it or whatever. So I want to like use whatever platform. I'm using all these like stupid like 2026 buzzwords and I mean, but I want to use this stuff to like
Yeah.
help people find cool things without having to like dig through a mountain of AI slop garbage and actually find something that's cool.
I agree. I get so annoyed when I see AI, especially because some of it is so realistic. It's sometimes hard to tell
Yeah. I just don't
what
believe
is.
anything anymore. Like I
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it has to be like verified by like multiple sources and
Yeah, like there was something somebody got from an when you Google something, it shows you the AI answer first. Somebody got it from an AI answer. I'm like, that is so inaccurate. It was something about Ghost, and I'm
yeah,
like, this song is not about these ghouls. It is about the lawsuit ghouls. It's about religious hypocrisy. If you
yeah.
listen to the lyrics, it's obviously about religious hypocrisy, not that.
AI is like so. I'll give you like a terrifying story. It's not
Yes.
terrifying, but it's like sad, I guess. So on our last tour that we did as Vision Video,
Hmm.
the guy that drives us is really awesome, really smart guy, but he's incredibly ADHD, and
Yeah.
he uses like AI to help him organize. Like he uses like Chat GPT to basically help him organize like all this information, and it's cool because all he uses it for is to like, hey, like here's this venue and here's the name of the sound technician or sound engineer, here's the hospitality manager, here's the front of house, blah 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 blah. And then like when we would come back, he'd be like, oh, I've got all the information, it's like it's all sorted and stored. um but he would also like help me do some of the finances, and when we would calculate what everybody's owed, and like what he ran the numbers, and I was like, something in me was like, I don't think this is right. And I double checked it and triple checked it, and it was fucking wrong, like by
Oh.
$1,000 from the whole tour. And I was
Dang.
like, this is crazy. Like it can't even do basic math and like division. Like
Yeah.
it's just, and I was like, maybe I'm wrong. And I like checked it a fourth time and was like, no, I'm right. This is crazy. So I just don't trust it at all. I don't think it
Yeah.
has anything that beneficial outside of like basic organizational stuff. And I don't know. I just don't see the merit. I I think it should be, we should be like figuring out how to make these things like cure fucking cancer and do things like that. You know what I mean? Like there should
Yeah.
be figuring out how to like make it steal jobs from artists by making terrible art.
Yeah. I agree. I went to GalaxyCon in Columbus because that's where I'm based, and there was, even though they said publicly they have a policy against AI art, there was so much AI art
Oh
this
yeah.
last GalaxyCon. I was so upset about it. I was like, I'm not even gonna buy anything from the obvious AI people, of course. So I went around trying to find people that were genuinely selling their art that they drew, and I mean, it was just crazy in general. So I really couldn't do that because it was just a shit show this year, to say the least, at GalaxyCon.
I'm not surprised. I definitely like saw it at Dragon Con 2 years ago. Was the last
Hmm.
time I was there. We didn't go this last year because we were in New York, but like back in 24, you could start to see it, and I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know, man. This is kind of like, but I think they so while we were actually in New York, I remember they like kicked out a vendor from Dragon Con while we were going up to play that show in New York, and I remember there was a big fuss about it because it was like this person like made a big scene and was like, this is an AI, but it was like very obvious
Obvious, yeah.
AI. And like their substantiation was just so flimsy, and like none of their social media had any of the pieces that they were selling, and it was just kind of like, it was like, just go, just leave, man. Like, why
Yeah.
are you even trying to argue? I don't know. It just seems so lame.
It is, because, like, so many people are like, well, I can't help but use it, because, like, I'll see, like, AI pictures of people with, like, famous people that are not real pictures
Yeah.
with this said person, and they're like, well, I can't help it. And it's like, yes, you can. You can just not use it for that
Yeah,
purpose.
go out and live your life, or like learn how to draw, and like,
Yeah. I
I mean,
mean,
it's just so insane to me that people can't. Like, I saw these, videos of, I can't remember who it was, but it was like some guy, and of course it's some dude, some like middle-aged white guy who's like, oh, like you shouldn't, like, oh, how did he phrase it? He goes like, learning an instrument shouldn't be like a barrier to entry to make music. And I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, that's like the whole fucking thing, man.
I
It's like,
mean, yeah.
you, whether you're using your instrument as your voice
You're
or a
right.
drum kit or a guitar, like you have, I mean, now you don't have to be good at it to make
Yeah.
music. I mean, if you can hit the strings and put your fingers on them and bear down some weight, like that's enough. But uh yeah, I just thought it was like sad that they were like sort of saying that like there shouldn't be barriers to entry based on skill, and I was just like, oh, that's such a like ridiculous argument. But I mean, just goes to show you like how many people advocate for that stuff and like don't care. They don't, and what's really wild to me is like even more so than the the sort of stealing of art from other artists is like the ecological devastation. I mean, like the
Yeah.
crazy electricity and water, and they're like, putting in these data centers, and it's just like ruining the water table. It's like all this toxic
Yeah.
crap that just goes into the water table, and these companies are just like, deal with it. Too bad. We don't care.
Yeah, and like when AI first came out, I didn't know how bad it was. I think a lot of people didn't at the time.
Yeah. Well,
But now you
yeah,
learn and you're like, "Oh, yeah."
yeah, it's just like little filters on TikTok or whatever, and you're like, oh, whatever, I'm a cat now, or like,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I just, yeah, I think that nobody had, and I still think nobody really truly like by and large society doesn't understand like how crazy it's
Yeah.
going to get. Like it's going to take a massive amount of jobs, and I mean, like in the United States, we are a consumerist based, debt and consumerist based economy. Like
Yeah.
everything relies on us, like buying shit we don't need, essentially, and we're all
Yeah.
guilty of it. But like, what happens when like all the jobs are just gone because the companies are automating everything through AI?
Mhm.
It's a these are big things though. I don't we don't have to go into because I'll
Right.
talk about this all night.
Because we theoretically could, but we're not going to. um, I just thought of this question because I like to ask musicians who tour regularly this, if they have any interesting like tour experience. It can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing, whatever you want to share, whatever you feel comfortable sharing.
Yeah. I mean, I love touring. It's the best part. There's two really cool parts of being a musician. There's writing the songs
Mm-hmm.
and coming up with it and being creative and just like grinding that whetstone down and like getting the thing made. And then there's touring and like playing live shows and just like being out on the road and seeing the world. Like I
Yeah.
love traveling. I love like it probably harkens back to my youth, like road trips, being especially driving like from where I am in Georgia out west is my favorite. Like getting out to the southwest and the desert, uh the big open sky, and just like you'll see storms coming through
Yeah.
like 100 miles away. I mean, it's so beautiful out there, and the air is so dry, and like I just love that because it's so different from where I live in Georgia. It's very humid and hot,
Yeah.
but it's just wet and it's just kind of miserable all the time. Like we get one good month of weather, it's October, and then it's like the rest of the year is kind of either really, really cold and rainy and wet, or like really blazing hot and wet.
Yeah.
um, but no, tour. I think every single tour I've been on, and with Vision Video, we toured a lot. We went on so
Mhm.
many tours in such a short amount of time. Um, every time you go out, there's like some crazy thing that happens. There's some really unfortunate thing that happens, but then there's a million wonderful things that happen, and they're all unique. And I've pretty much enjoyed every single time I've gone out. There's been very few times where I walked away without, like, I usually come back from tour feeling so much better. My mental health is better. I just feel good about what I'm doing, and I feel connected to what I'm doing because I think so. To answer your question more succinctly, I think just in essence, the best part of it is connecting with people that your music resonates with, and it sounds cliche, but it's so true. Like when you put out music, especially in modern day, you're sort of like clicking some buttons and it goes to this computer system of distribution, and then it's out, and then you're sort of like on social media trying to get the word out about it. But it really feels like you're doing it in a vacuum. For me, it does anyway. Like, especially
Mhm.
now, because like with Agonal Gasps, my new act, it's just me. I'm the only person writing this at all, and putting it out. So it's very it feels very like I said, like in a vacuum. It's just sort of like here's this, uh,
Yeah.
and I don't really get to see people interacting
Mhm.
with it. But when I will go back out on the road, I will see that very viscerally, like very real. And I think that's just a beautiful thing. Like, and especially like in a day and age where art is being sort of stolen by AI, and like it's sort of devalued. Like Spotify doesn't pay artists, like we get paid
Yeah.
fractions of a cent, and they don't really give a shit about like our needs, our concerns. And music is just sort of like a passive thing in most people's lives. Like, people may listen to a lot of music, but they don't really listen to it intentionally anymore. Like, they have it on in the car, or like as they're running and jogging, or whatever. It's just sort of on in the background.
Mhm.
And like live music to me cuts that out completely, because you're there. Like, unless you're sitting there on your phone and just not in the moment at all, uh,
Yeah.
like you're there, you're hearing it, you're feeling it, you're getting the movement of the air, you're with other people dancing, moving around. And that is a real experience that cannot be replicated or stolen or sullied in a way. It is very pure, and I think there are very few things in this world these days, especially, that are like pure. So
Mhm.
I love it. Yeah, it's great.
I agree with that a lot. I'm not a touring musician by any means, but I do occasionally perform. Not as much as I want to, but I need to get my butt in gear with it. Um, and even just as a fan, connecting with an artist on any level, like even this for me is like super fun. That I get to connect with people on this, even though we're on a camera on the computers and stuff. It's still a connection in a way that, it's one on one. You don't have like 10 other people trying to crowd around to meet you or something.
Yeah, and that's definitely, you only get so much time with everybody, and it's
Yeah.
tough. But yeah, I mean, I think that for me, the entire point, like when I sit and objectively as possible think about why do you like doing
Hmm.
this. I guess that's subjective anyway. Whatever. It's when I think about it very intently, like why I need to do this.
Yeah.
I there's I'll put it this way. There's a very big part of me that really, really wishes I could do music and not be known at all. Like,
Yeah.
at all. Because I don't, I mean, it feels good to get praised for your creation, but I think that people inevitably, with any musician, any artist, people put a lot of preconceived notions behind you. And I don't really care about the negative stuff, because like
Yeah.
people, like, I'm like, okay, whatever. You can say whatever you want about me. I really don't care.
Yeah.
But what does kind of bother me is when people like raise me up on a pedestal and they're like, "Oh, got that? He's just this amazing," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"The guy, like I'm just, like I am a very flawed human
Yeah.
being. I have to, I have my own struggles and my own
Yeah.
issues and things that I want to work on and things that I need to work on and do better on, and nobody's perfect. But anyway, yeah, I think it's all about the need to connect with people and just like get that energy out in a way that feels constructive rather than destructive, because I've been there in my life so many times where I have let my the things that I've been through, some of the things that I've seen and been a part of, like really are horrible things, and
Yeah.
I let that trauma and those memories sort of fester. It's like it leads me nowhere good. But if I put that energy and sort of transmute it into something else and that's constructive, I walk away from that experience feeling good about myself, but also feeling good that maybe it resonated with somebody that needed to hear that
Yeah.
and have that song that like helped them maybe get through a really tough time or whatever. And that's an amazing, that's magic to me. That's an incredible thing.
Agreed, because so much music does help people resonate and like find themselves. And I always do find it strange when people put anybody that's like semi-famous or well-known on a pedestal. I'm like, they're just a human
Yeah,
at the end of the day, just like I am. No, they're not any better than me in any way, shape, or form. We're all the same on a human level.
yeah. And in fact, a lot of musicians are like total assholes.
Yeah,
You gotta, I mean, and again, I'm no angel, but like I've
yeah.
met some musicians that I'm like, man, you gotta bring it down a notch. Like you are not that important. You sing and play a guitar for a living. Like,
Yeah, I've been really lucky that I haven't met anybody that's like super like a jerk yet.
yeah,
'Cause a lot of the people I support are smaller artists and not super famous.
yeah,
And I think one of the ones that was just kind of strange meeting was Daniel Meyer from Hijab. Like, I mean, I think it's because he's German that he's just like kind of like meh, but he was nice.
Germans, I can say this as a German, tend to be very stern and stoic
Yeah,
and
that's what it is. The stoicness and kind of like no expression. Even if I'm like, oh my gosh, hey, it's so great to see you. He's just like, yeah, thanks.
that's just German.
But I understood that that's just a German thing, cultural differences.
Yeah.
Because I
Germans
could
are
be that way
interesting
too.
people. Germans are very interesting because they're
Yeah,
ultimately, when you get to know most Germans, they'll open
yeah,
up to you and they are so funny and so like
yeah,
goofy and like really talkative and animated, but it's very like in public in Germany in general, like you very rarely interact with anybody you don't know. Like it's like
yeah,
unless it's a social situation like a bar or something or show or whatever. But like when you're on the train in Germany, you don't like just strike up a conversation. You will
right.
never see a German being like, "Oh, hello, can I talk to you today?" Like that will never happen. And if they do, they are insane.
I hope you on this lovely day.
Yeah, happen. Won't happen.
It's like, no, they're not even gonna say that. They might like give you a glare, but
Yeah,
if anything,
exactly. Yeah.
I used to have a German boss, and sometimes I'd try to joke with him, and sometimes he'd just stare at me, and I'm like, okay, awkward.
They have their own form of like sarcasm, and
Yeah,
it's like not the way that we do it here. It's
right.
totally different. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like there was one time I jokingly was like, just leave me alone, you're being so mean to me. And he's like, you don't bite the hands that feeds you. And I'm like, I was just joking, I'm sorry.
But he might have been joking when he said that too, because that's a very like I say things like that, and you're like, but there's, and it sounds totally serious, but they're like actually kind of kidding.
I couldn't tell because he didn't even like just go, I'm just joking. I was just like,
Uh,
I'm sorry.
Total deadpan. Yeah.
Yes. But anyway, German people are interesting. I have German heritage, but I grew up here, so I don't know the culture all that well.
Yeah.
I kind of learned it from interacting with more German people and wanting to learn about it because I do want to move to Germany at some point, but I don't know if that would ever happen for me, so it's just a dream to move there.
You want it, you can do it. I mean, it is an amazing place. Like,
Yeah.
truly love and miss it regularly, especially these days. I'm like, Christ, I want to get out of here. But it's hard. But it's a really phenomenal culture, and
Yeah.
there's so much history, and the food is amazing, the beer is amazing, the people are really quite friendly once you kind of get through their like sort of rough stealthy
Yeah.
exterior. But yeah, I mean, I lived there, I was stationed there in the army when I was in the military because I speak pretty decent German, and
Hmm.
maybe not right now, but back then I definitely did. And and I just absolutely loved my time. I was there for about 5 years, and it was truly wonderful. I mean, I just, and I lived in Bavaria, which is like, my family's from sort of the other end of Germany near the French
Hmm.
border, near Frankfurt, and yeah, I mean, it was totally different. It was totally new to me, but oh God, there was like a literally, I lived in the city center of this old medieval city called Amberg, and it's like a small city in the smack in the middle of Bavaria in der Oberpfalz region, and it's one of the only towns that like didn't just totally get decimated during both of the world wars.
That's good.
So the original, it's like a castle wall that goes around the city center. So I lived in that like essentially castle wall, like in this, in the Marktplatz, which is a market square. If you walked out of my door, there was a 700-year-old cathedral, massive cathedral. There was a like 700-year-old brewery across the street. There was like a bakery that had been there for hundreds of years, like all this crazy old stuff that's just been passed down by families, and it was so cool. Just like, you're just like, oh, it's Saturday morning, and I don't have to be at the base, so I'm just gonna go out and like hang out and drink a German beer and talk and like speak German and hang out, and yeah, it was really wonderful. So I highly recommend, if you're ever able to live abroad for at least a little while, because it will
I
change your
want to.
perspective on like I think, most, if most Americans had 6 months to live anywhere in Europe, they would be like, you could take the most incredibly conservative MAGA whatever person and make them live in Germany for 6 months, and it would completely shift the way that they look at the world. Because when you realize that, like, oh, all of the social needs for people, or all the societal needs, I should say, like healthcare, transportation, all these things are free, if not cheap, incredibly cheap and incredibly efficient and effective. When all that's provided for people, people, as it turns out, are generally pretty happy. And people live productive, meaningful lives and feel connected to their communities. We don't have any of that. We don't have healthcare that's affordable or effective. We have no public transportation system that is actually good in most cities. It's kind of terrible unless you're in like New York or somewhere like that where there's actual functional transportation. Our infrastructure is collapsing and terrible. It's like there's so many things that we think, or we're like, oh, make America great. Like, again, it's kind of always been a nightmare. And
Yeah.
I didn't know until I lived there, like, just how much, uh, like, just how poorly we have it here. We are like just a notch above a third world nation, essentially. I mean, It's kind of crazy to me.
I forget the wrestler's name. I think it was Jesse Ventura. He said that recently
Yeah.
about this country. I'm like, I kind of agree about that. It's you're not wrong there, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually saw that interview, and he's right. I mean, and he like love him or hate him. I mean, that guy, he like knows what he's talking about. He like fought in Vietnam. He like
Yeah,
came home. He ran businesses, became a senator. Like he's done all this stuff. Like
yeah,
he knows like what he's talking about. And uh, I mean, yeah, it's a sad state of what this country is turning into because it's something that we could have avoided. And this place could be actually a wonderful place because
yeah,
there's so many incredible people, so many hardworking, beautiful, different, you know, just the diversity of this place is so beautiful, and
yeah.
we're ruining it. We're destroying that, and it's just it's so sad to me, and I'm so bummed that I'm kind of stuck. Like I live in a wonderful place. Athens is amazing. My wife and I have kind of our dream home.
Hmm.
It's a wonderful place. My favorite bar is across the street. There's amazing restaurants. There's all this cool stuff, but it's like all the time I find myself now being like, I really wish we could just get out of here because it's just such a.
Yeah,
But you also have to make the best of it. You have to make change where you find yourself.
exactly. And use your voice and make it known that whatever is happening is not okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. The first step to like atrocities is the normalization process of horrible things. Like
Yeah,
that's why the government is doing what they're doing right now. They're
yeah,
trying to normalize it. They're trying to inundate you with all these terrible things, like bombing Venezuela, taking their president, no matter whether or not he's a good like person or president or leader, but like going and bombing the country and threatening to take Greenland, and ICE agents are gunning down people in the street, and it's like
yeah.
this it's by design to overwhelm you, but to make it eventually feel like it's just normal, like, oh, this is just how it is here, and that's not acceptable. I refuse to accept that. I will never find this normal or reasonable because it's not.
It is not. It is not. But I want to move on to a little more lighter things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We can
Sorry.
talk about this for hours because I 100% agree with you on everything you just said.
Yeah.
Very well said. Um, but I remember when we met, I was wearing a Dragula tour shirt, and you had mentioned you wanted to be a guest judge on Dragula, which I still want that for you.
I know. I really I have a friend that knows them, but I will never be the guy that's like, hey, can you like
Put
I
in the
just
good word for me.
I one thing I've learned in my life is that like you can't force things like that to happen. Like
Yeah,
they just kind of have to organically happen because it'll either be super awkward and then the quality of the thing won't be good, or
yeah.
or it just won't happen. Because you're like trying so hard to push for something like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I would love like if they ever if if y'all see this and you want me on,
Yeah.
I am ready to go now. Like and I really hope that you know, me doing this show, I've got some really cool guests lined up for it, especially horror people that are like pretty
Okay.
important, and thanks to like Fangoria, I've made a lot of friends in that world.
Hmm.
You know, and like I'm trying to get some really cool guests, and I hope that sort of opens those doors organically to where I can do stuff like that. Because I love that show. I mean, it's just so much fun.
Me
I,
too.
I would just love nothing more than to just be a guest judge for one episode and just watch it. Like I just love the like cattiness of drag queens and how they just
Yes.
like kind of at each other, but they're so incredibly talented and they're so beautiful and wonderful and full of life and spirit, and it's just the best. Actually, speaking of drag queens, shout
Yeah.
out to Dev Rage and the drinks from Chicago. yeah, really wonderful punk band. Go check them out.
On this last season of Titans, the Bride and Groom Challenge, Priscilla's groom reminded me a lot of you, and I told her that when I got tattooed by her. She's like, "Yes, that's exactly my inspiration."
Oh shit! Oh, that's
So
cool.
that was really cool because I was like, "Your bride was Susie, and then the groom was Goth." That she's like, "Yes, exactly."
That's wonderful. That's very cool. Thank you.
Yes, of course. And oh my gosh, Priscilla is amazing. I was so shocked at that elimination. I was like,
Yeah,
literally, I jaw dropped. I was like, I expected Disasterina, but not her.
yeah, yeah. Right there with you on that one.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, this last season was just crazy with the drama.
It was pretty thick this season. Yeah. But it's fun. It's
It
fun.
is fun. It is fun because they're all friends. At least I hope so.
Yeah, I feel
At
like a
the end
lot
of
of
it.
that's like kind of put upon for the
Yeah.
cameras, but
Yes,
who knows,
definitely.
Maybe it's probably a little bit real, a little bit not real.
Maybe with Dahlia, I think it might have been a little bit real.
Yeah,
But I love Dahlia, so that's no shade to her. I love Dahlia as an artist and a
right, right.
person. So,
Yeah,
and I'm
absolutely.
happy Eva won, even though I really was rooting for Sigourney because Sigourney's one of my favorites.
Yeah, yeah, she's amazing. So,
Yes, like I interviewed her right before Titans, and she was
oh,
just
cool.
lovely.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, we're getting a little off track, I think.
Okay.
You have a new project coming up. You kind of mentioned the name earlier, but you want to tell everybody again, and then
Yeah,
and tell us about what you can tell us about
yeah,
it.
for sure. No, so I have started a new band. It's me, but
Of
I
course.
eventually I'll have some touring members to some extent to
Hmm.
perform it live. But I'm writing it all, and it's called Dusty Gannon and the Agonal Gasps, which is the agonal gasps are the medical term for dying breaths.
Uh-huh.
It was like one. I remember when I was in paramedic school for the fire department, and I was like just reading, just going through the academic stuff with that, and I remember that uh, term really stuck out to me. It was like, oh, I've
Hmm.
never heard of that before. It's like really stark and like
Yeah.
agonal gasps, like holy shit, like. Uh, and I mean, I unfortunately have seen that many times, and
Yeah.
something that sticks in my mind a lot. But it felt like the right. Like I actually had kind of taken out all the social media and website stuff like a long time ago because I was going to do it as a side project. Like before
Hmm.
Vision Video even started to grow, it was like we were just still a local band. Um, but with the end of Vision Video, I was like, oh, how appropriate. Like the dying breaths of like I'm it's kind of and it's also like a duality thing, like
Yeah.
dying breaths, like to me
Hmm.
I'm all about like dualism in so far as language, but also in kind of iconography and metaphor. So it just felt like the right time to bring that out and make that my main act. Because I never actually did anything with. I just had the name. I had some like small, like there was kind of more of an industrial thing that I had been working on.
Hmm.
But anyway, this new act is it's more akin to like early post punk. I keep making this sort of comparison, like whereas Vision Video was to The Cure, this will be as to Bauhaus or like The Sound or Alien Sex Fiend, like really kind of bizarre, dissonant, jagged. It's way more guitar driven. It's a lot more like heavy and darker. I think with Vision Video, I was always again playing with duality. I was kind of like the lyrical content of Vision Video is very dark, but I always like to kind of bring in like some sense of like whimsy or levity
Hmm.
or just like poppiness, even like dancey accessibility. Whereas this, I am going in a very different direction. I mean, this is very dissonant. It's just raw. It's like, I'm like, the two songs that I've got pretty much done, they are like vocally, I didn't do any pitch correction at all. I just put some effects on it, and it's just here it is, you know. And I'm kind of taking that approach with a lot of the music. Like I'm not super like comping in like the perfect, you know, take. Like I'm kind of getting to where I'm like, that's good, but it's not perfect. But I want it to be that way because it's, and this might be, maybe this sounds like a little cheesy or like uh, a little pretentious, even. I don't know, but I kind of want to make stuff that's a little rough and not, and like
Yeah.
odd even, because it's such an antithesis of like AI and all this stuff. Like, you know, you hear all these songs like AI songs now, and it's like it's so technical, and it's like, I mean, it's just like AI pictures, you know, or art. I don't even want to call it art, but like, you know, it's so flourished and it's so colorful and it's so like perfect, and like art isn't perfect, like it
Yeah.
shouldn't be. And I want to make things that feel raw and just not, or not even not incomplete, but like just a little flawed purposefully, because that feels right for me right now. And it feels like a statement against this stuff when it's becoming so normalized and so
Hmm.
widely used by society. Now I don't I don't think that that necessarily makes it commercially as viable as anything in vision video. So I mean, but again, I don't really care. Like, and I know
Yeah.
that's a bold statement from somebody that makes their living off of music, especially considering I do not like. There's not a lot of money in this. Like, and if I was looking for money anyway, this is like the wrong. Like, there are much easier ways to like make a living. I'll
Yeah.
put it that way. But you know, to me, it's like I want to put something out there that is, in a way, a bit of, it's like in the same vein as vision video, but it's very much so an antithesis of vision video. It's a very uh, left turn, sharp left turn from that. So yeah, it's very. I think people that like early post punk, and you know, when goth was not quite goth, it was before that term was even used. If you
Yeah.
like those bands, you know, you'll find a lot of familiarity in what I'm doing. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to like redefine a genre or do anything like that. I'm just trying to make music that I would want to hear. And
That's how it should be.
yeah, you know, it's like make the sound that I like to hear and marry it with the message that I have to get out there. Because I think that for better or for worse, like I have to use my experiences to tell people like my story and why it matters and what we should be paying attention to, because we are walking, like, again, down treacherous roads right now, and it is not.
Yeah. And the first single will be out February 1st, I think I read, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it's called Hold Fast. I kind of originally wrote this song will be a bit of a like a smooth transition away from vision video, as it were, because it's I wrote this while we were still vision video.
Hmm.
And you'll hear a little bit more vision video in this song, whereas the next few songs are like very different.
Yeah.
But this song is cool. It's a very up tempo. It's very intense, very guitar driven. Big like kind of anthemic, like 80s, like very just, it feels like stadium. It's like stadium goth rock. Like it.
I
I
like the sound of it.
yeah, it's fun. It's got a lot of energy. It's got a lot of piss and vinegar, and it's, I mean, at its core, it's actually a very simple song lyrically. There's not much to it because the whole thing about it is I wanted to capture the feeling of resiliency, and I
Hmm.
wanted the whole song is it's a maritime term. Hold fast is like when they would crank down on the ropes when the sails were going up, uh,
Right.
and it's the song is about like making it through really difficult times. And I think
Hmm.
almost everybody in the world right now is going through a very difficult time, like whether it's economically or war or, you know, crazy ICE agents gunning people in the down in the street, like whatever, there's so much tumultuousness and chaos right now. And I want people to be reminded that you have to like get yourself right and steel yourself and be resilient in your own way, and that's and whatever that looks like for you, whether that's like exercise or reading and learning or building community or just doing self-care, because we all need to
Oh.
just take care of ourselves right now. Like whatever it is that you need to do to be resilient and to make it through this terrible time, we have to get it through together, and we have to like buckle down, and it has to be something that we think about, because taking care of yourself isn't a passive thing. You have to care
Yeah.
about yourself, and it takes action. So that's kind of what the song is about, and it's just it's a fun song. It's just, yeah, I really love playing it live. It quickly became, we played it a few times on the last tour, and it's quickly become one of my favorites to play live. So I'm looking forward to getting it out there. I think people are really gonna like it.
I'm excited to hear it because I missed the last tour. I think life was just lifing, so I didn't get
Yeah,
to go to the tour that time. But I'm excited to hear it, and I'm excited for you to tour the new project too because I want to see it in person as well. And I'm really excited for that. So.
yeah, I'm gonna try to get out sometime in the fall for a little bit
Mhm.
of touring. I think it'll probably be more East Coast, just because I'm over here, and
Right.
I'm going to be doing just a little bit of regional stuff. But next year, especially, I'll be hitting it really hard again, and I'll be doing these like kind of longer, month long, like East Coast, and then a month long West Coast and Midwest, and just getting out to all the places, because at that point it'll be have been quite a while since I've seen everybody. And yeah, I'm already like, it's only been since October and I'm
Yeah.
already like, oh man, I want to get back out there. So yeah,
Already clawing at the cage to get back
yeah,
out.
exactly, exactly.
And those who genuinely enjoy your art will stick around regardless if vision video is a thing. And I am one of those people that I'm just interested to see what you are doing next and you as a person.
Thank you.
Even though vision video, well, technically Goth Dad was my gateway to you, but vision video was the gateway to your music.
Yeah, yeah.
but, but yeah, I'm very excited. And I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. We've had a really good chat. I have to get up early for work, so
Oh,
I need to wind myself down because I'm really amped up because I got to talk to you today. It was really
okay, great.
fun.
Yeah, it was a
Thank,
great chat.
of course, and I of course will hopefully after everything with your new project has been out for a while, reach back out and do another one so we can talk more about it. I would
Totally.
love to talk more about that rather than vision video the next time I talk to you because it was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
fun.
I'll have. I mean, my plan over the next few months is to be releasing a song
Hmm.
basically once, about every 5 weeks. So I don't know when the record will be done, but there will
Hmm.
be just singles, and there will be a lot of them, because I'm already kind of at a place where like three of them are very, very nearly done, and then there's
Hmm.
about three or four that are like 75%. So it's coming together, and yeah, and I've actually I don't know if it's all gonna happen, but I just talked to a producer last night, who is a really cool guy, and he's gonna give a shot at mixing one of the next songs, and if we like it, I'm going to be working with him, and I'll announce all that. But it's somebody very cool. It's somebody that's from the goth and the horror world, and he's a super cool guy, and I'm super excited. So yeah,
Yeah,
there'll be tons of stuff soon. So keep an eye
yeah,
out.
yes. Keep your eyes out, people, including me. So thank you so much for stopping by, and I really appreciate it. Bye, everybody.
There.